Why hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rosica and this is the Midnight Reader. Today I wanted to do another book tag. We're going to be doing the Aesthetically Pleasing Book Tag. Now Rosica, you may say, you don't have a lot of books, and that's true. I do not have a lot of books, but that is okay because consumerism isn't everything, and I can still appreciate the books that I have as well as the books that I don't have, because we can all enjoy the beauty of books even if we don't own a lot of them, can we not? Okay. I figured I'd go through the prompts of this, and I'm probably going to show you books that I have, but I might also just throw up a couple of covers right here through the power of editing. Also, if you can hear my neighbors very loudly playing classic rock music through my floor, I'm sorry. This is the filming time. The lighting is nice. The baby is sleeping. I can't help that the neighbors really wanted to play We Will Rock You by Queen. I hope you can't hear it. Benefits of not really having a microphone. First prompt is best color combo. And like I said, there's gonna be multiple books. I'm not sticking to just one. I can't be contained. So from my shelf, probably the best color combos that I enjoy are actually Pandora's Jar by Natalie Hayes. There's something about the very bold symbol graphics, as well as just kind of, I'm a primary colors human, so I just really, this color combination delights me. I just think she's a very striking lady. Kind of in the more muted painterly, I have The Wild Silence by Raynor Wynn. This is the second book in like a series of memoirs. The first one is called Salt Path, which I also think is quite beautiful. There's something about the muted, swirling color palette that just I really love. It's supposed to be the coast of England. And again, because I like colorful books, I'm gonna put John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed. I believe the inspiration for this was like the beauty of sunsets. So the lovely person who illustrated this put the colors of sunsets on the cover. Aerosmith, cool. At least I know my neighbors are also old. In books that I don't own for this, I'm gonna say The Diary of a Void by Emi Yagi is perhaps like one of my very favorite books that I've seen. There's something about this kind of like muted neutral color palette that I think is just gorgeous. Number 2, best typography or font. In my books, I quite like Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I like how they've incorporated the title with the characters, and it's also pretty much the plot of the book. I'm living for these like mint green sprayed edges. Come on, this is wonderful. The rest of the covers I'm gonna kind of pick for this category I don't own. I'm gonna say The Nursery. Since it's about motherhood and like newborn times, like it took me a minute to realize that this is, you know, a nipple, and the words a novel are actually dripping milk. I just thought it was so clever because I think you can look at it and not realize what it is. And, you know, the typography is an integral part of the design. I'm also going to say Gut, which I read a few years ago. It's nonfiction about the science of our guts, of our intestines, and all that fun stuff that's attached. And I like how the typography of the word gut just kind of like weaves into your goodies and bits. Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I just really like the font that he's chosen for this whole series of books. I think it's kind of gorgeous and very striking. When I say he, I mean the publisher. And then also because I think it's cute and clever, When Dimple Met Rishi, I like that the cover of the book is just written in Sharpie on the coffee. It's also very appropriate for the type of YA romance that it is. And I think it's very clever. Number 3, best simple cover. In my collection, that would be probably Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. You have like the beautiful woven sweetgrass braids, which are the heart of her book, and I think it's beautiful. I particularly like this hardback bind up. Also, one of the best memoir covers of all time, Wild by Cheryl Strayed. I love the ratty old hiking boot. I don't know if this is actually her boot. I kind of like to think that it is, but it is the story of Cheryl Strayed as she hikes the PCT and walks her way well after a lifetime of trauma and self-destruction. And I think it's brilliant. One of the oldest books in my collection, American Shaolin, a lovely photograph of a monk holding a bag of Burger King. I really love because it's, you know, the integration of East and West. And this is the story of Matthew Polly, who's the writer who, when China became open to visitors, decided he was gonna go learn from the Shaolin monks and practice martial arts with them. And it is his story of like learning to become a martial artist with the monks. And it's sort of wonderful. Very much the photo on the cover is very indicative of the story, but out of place with some humor. Other simple covers that I think are delightful: Miss Ice Sandwich, The Power by Naomi Alderman, The Book of Eels, and Crib Sheet by Emily Oster. I think these are all very clever and very simple imagery that really evoke the type of story that they're telling. Best end pages. I'm going to reuse books because I don't have that many, so I'm going to pick The Anthropocene Reviewed as one of them because he has all these little circles, which has to do with one of the essays in his books. Is about an artist who draws all these complex paintings that are entirely made up of small circles. So this is directly related to one of the essays, and also I just think it's gorgeous. How about The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill? All have gorgeous end pages. I'm gonna pick the third book in the series though because it has an actual tea dragon in it. So all of them have these lovely pots of tea, but the third book in the series actually has little dragons on it. These are little chamomiles. It's just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and I think it's adorable and I love it very much. I'm also gonna say, for all you Brandon Sanderson fans out there, the original hardback, like Stormlight Archive series, their end pages are like full color, gorgeous, high fantasy illustrations of major characters. And if that's not nerdy and cool, I don't know what is. Number 5, best map. Okay, so this one was actually easy because I already have this out. I love the Stormlight Archive series maps because normally in fantasy books, they're like the first couple of pages. He doesn't do that. It's actually the cover of the book is a full color fold out of the world. And if that's not just bitchin', I don't know what is. Come on. This delights me. I'm also gonna pick Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Kind of like The Rhythm of War, it has these fold out maps of the pumpkin patch on both the front and end flaps. And it's just really sweet. And you don't usually see a lot of maps in like non-fantasy books, and this is not a fantasy book. This is a YA kind of fiction fall friendship book. Best naked hardback. So I was going through my books because I wasn't sure what I was going to pick for this, and I found a delightful surprise, which is I think what you want when you're like taking covers off books. I think you want to be surprised. And weirdly enough, it's Yearbook by Seth Rogen. I did not know that this book did this, and so when I took the cover off, I was delighted. So it's called Yearbook, but when you take off the cover, it's everyone else in the class. It's front and back side, and it's got all kinds of like real characters, but also like I'm pretty sure that's like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, is it not? Yeah, I think this is hilarious and delightful. I like that it's hot pink. I was so surprised when I took the cover off this. I think this is by far my favorite naked hardback. It's just so fun. I do, of course, have some like cloth-bound naked hardbacks that I think are gorgeous. Like, for example, take the price tag off. This copy of Pride and Prejudice. I love this kind of like old style wallpaper birds. I think she's so pretty. And then of course this copy of Heidi by Joanna Spyri, which is like an old edition I found at a library sale, and I have showed off many times because goats. Number 7 is best back cover, and I don't think I have one for this. I mean, maybe this copy of A Christmas Carol, which has this lovely like full painting on the front, and then one of the ghosts of like one of the Marleys on the back, maybe? I mean, I feel like back covers are usually just a continuation of the front cover, and I don't have anything that's super cute for that. Also, it's just really difficult to think of things for that because traditionally you don't get the back cover of a book that's also advertised. So I'm sorry. I'm sure there's really cute back covers out there. I don't think I have any. Number 8, best chapter headers. So I love little doodles in books. I think probably my pick for this, The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating by Elizabeth Tova Bailey. It's one of my favorite books of all time. She has little pictures of snails, not only on the chapters, but like throughout the book. As you read, the snail sort of like moves around the book. I think that's wonderful. Here's one that just has all the baby snails because all the baby snails are hatching. But if it's like a true chapter header, then I probably have to go with the Sanderson because he always has adorable doodles at all the chapters. I think I would go with the Rhythmatist, which is my favorite Sanderson. Art and drawing is a huge part of this book. This is one of the only books I would really recommend not reading the audiobook for. If you can read a physical copy or an ebook, the art is a huge part of it. And at the top of every chapter, he has these little characters who are important to the story. Like they're kind of like the creatures that get drawn. They're chalklings. Like I said, drawing and art is a pretty huge part of this. You see all these kind of like geometric drawings and things like that that are throughout the book. But I think the chapter headers are indeed particularly cute. Also, there's unicorns. Oh, we're losing the light. It's gonna be raining again. Number 9, best illustrations. Of the books that I have on my shelf, I really love my copy of Heidi because it does have full color illustrations, and it does have illustrations throughout the book, and they're very like traditional and old school, and I just think it's gorgeous. I think it's one of the most beautiful copies of this book I've ever seen. I just think it's beautiful, especially because it's more of a non-illustrated novel, right? Versus something like the Tea Dragon Society, which is a graphic novel. Art is a huge part of the book. This is up there too. I just think the art style is just absolutely gorgeous. It has all these little tea dragons. Everything is very charming and cozy. And if you want a book that's going to give you a hug with the art, I would highly recommend her series. It's 3 graphic novels, all focusing on this world of tea dragons, friendship, inclusion, and grief. In books that I don't have, I'm also going to select Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. That is also a book I would not read on audiobook because the illustrations are such a huge part of it. If you do read it on audio, I would strongly encourage you to look up the illustrations because they're just so gorgeous. I wound up reading it on my Kindle, which I have a non-color Kindle, and then I would go and download it on my phone so I could look at the illustrations in color on my phone because it's just absolutely lovely. Gorgeous painterly art, and the art is a huge part of the story as well. Best spine? I mean, I like if a spine has some continuation of the scene from the cover. The house on the Cerulean Sea comes to mind because it has the lovely, you know, house from the cover continued on the spine. Mostly I just don't like, you know, ugly spines. It's nice if a little bit of the cover and stuff like that get carried out to the spine of the book, like with Pride and Prejudice. Like this is just gorgeous on my shelf. I love that the you know, motif of the cranes is just carried forward. Favorite cover. I think I'm gonna go with a lot of covers that I don't own. I've shown you most of my favorite covers that I do own. Covers that I don't own that I think are absolutely phenomenal include Crying in H Mart. I love the noodles, I love the colors. It's a wonderful, wonderful, deeply cutting memoir about grief and the author's complex relationship with her mom, as well as a love letter to Asian American food. I also really love Circe. I think that cover is outstanding. I love that the eyes shine a little bit. I think it's gorgeous. I notice it whenever it's in, you know, bookstores, things like that. I already talked about Diary of a Void. There's something about those colors that I just think is so chef's kiss. I also really love As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I think that cover is outstanding. I'm sorry, I'm just so in love with the Tea Dragon Society right now, but like all the covers for these books are just, I mean, like, come on. They're so, so wonderful. Like, come on. The box that they come in, come on. It's got your adorable little flavor dragons on here. It's just so cute. Other covers I really enjoy. The book Yoke, I think, is gorgeous. I think that's probably one of the most outstanding covers I've ever seen. I also love that it's the story of, I think, twins, and they are holding hands, not on the spine, but on the actual, like, page part. They went out of the way to like connect their hands, and it's lovely. It kind of reminds me of the Sistine Chapel, but with like these gorgeous modern colors. Eat a Peach by Dave Chang. I really, really love that one. I think it's supposed to have kind of references to the Legend of Sisyphus, insurmountable tasks, as well as like the peach being a huge part of like his branding for his restaurant business. And I think the colors on it are gorgeous. Convenience Store Woman does not have a bad cover. Like the two covers that I know of are the little rice ball girl, the little soy sauce fish. They're wonderful. I thought that book was so weird, but I think these covers are absolutely outstanding. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, also so cute. I haven't read the book, but I notice the cover whenever I see it in a bookstore. I just like pretty covers like the rest of us do. If you can bring like some nice design to it, I think we're all pretty happy around here. So those are a few of my favorite covers. I'm glad we got to talk about them together. As you can see, do not have a huge amount of books, but that doesn't mean that I'm not, you know, enamored of a wonderful, aesthetically pleasing book. If you want to do the tag, please consider yourself tagged. I think this tag is as old as time, so nobody tagged me in it. I just thought it would be something fun to do on a Monday. Yeah, I hope you very much enjoyed. If you made it this far in the video, please drop a comment below telling me what your favorite aesthetically pleasing book cover is. This is one of the best things about the bookish internet, is we can all agree that things are gorgeous. So those are all my gorgeous books, some for my shelves, some for my brain, and I hope you all had a good time, enjoyed the video. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you all next video. Bye!